Yeah, thank you so much for coming. If anyone else is going to be joining, I will be fiddling with this camera or this laptop. Okay, yeah. Does anybody have any questions? This is dating, this is relationships, at any level of any problems. You're someone that can get numbers, you're someone that can maybe get first, second dates, but they seem to ghost. Or I don't even know how to approach somebody, whether you're a man or woman, or I'm in a relationship, we're fighting right now. Anything like that.
Well, it's your time to work for me, son. So I'm the worst one to ask.
Well, I mean, you are single. Yeah, one thing I've learned is that some of the best dating coaches, I said this last week, but some of the best dating coaches, they can get women, but they struggle to keep them. And it depends on what they're looking for, honestly. Some people want to be forever bachelors. Some people do want that lifetime partner, just they don't want to settle. Everyone has different goals.
I can talk about something.
Yeah, please.
Well, I kind of already talked to you about it before, but I have my commitment issues because I still want to do what I want. And, like a lot of people aren't okay with that. And, who I like now, he's not okay with that. And so it's like, hard to be like, I want to be able to, commit, but I also want to do what I want. But if I like someone and they don't want that, and I know you said before, be upfront about it, which I am upfront about it, but still, he doesn't like the idea of it.
Right. And you two are long distance, right?
Yes, that too.
Yeah. Okay. So I can tell you that I don't believe in cheating, first of all. So I will never encourage that route. That said, I've definitely met people prior to being married to Bree, who were not into open relationships. And I had to decide, like, I really like this person, like really, really like this person. Am I willing to be monogamous? Am I willing to be exclusive? And there were about one or two women that I was willing to say yes to that question for. Obviously, we didn't work out. But at least that question of what if didn't exist or doesn't exist in my mind anymore. If this person's worth it, I understand you guys are long distance. Do you guys have plans to like reconvene and move closer together?
He wants to move back to Austin as soon as he can, but originally he was gonna transfer from his company. They have a base and they have a place in Austin too, but headquarters is in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
But now he found out that actually they don't really allow people to do that apparently, so that he would have to get a different job if he wanted to move back. But he talks about wanting to move back to Austin all the time, and so
are you
I don't
willing
know.
to relocate to be with him?
I don't want to move to Arizona.
Fair enough. Then yeah, it might be worth asking, like, I'm going to ask a hard question. Okay. Are you with him because he's the best you found so far, but you're not, you might be settling? Like, are you with him because he's actually that amazing? What makes you torn between wanting to be with him, but also still wanting to be open?
Because I haven't found somebody that I felt the most comfortable with and feel I'm most compatible with. I haven't found anybody that beats that, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
And we started out as friends, and then the last like 5 or 6 months, then we've been kind of dating. But yeah, I just think he's the most compatible, and he was someone I could see myself with.
Okay.
Like long term versus other people where it's like, it could go either way.
Yeah, I think that answers your question personally. Now I'm curious if like you want to see other people, are you bisexual or just heterosexual?
I guess I don't know.
You don't know? Fair enough. Maybe
hetero for now.
Bi-curious is a thing. Yeah, I mean, I'd ask him, like, is he willing to explore, bringing someone in? Yeah. That way his territory isn't, isn't threatened. His jealousy might be less of an issue there. Is he willing to explore
Well,
that?
culture is also a big thing too.
Culture?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say he's more traditional conservative? Because I know his background. I'm being vague on purpose, but
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
culture, he's more traditional.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Then yeah, I mean, if you can see something with him long term, my genuine advice would be see where it goes.
Yeah.
I definitely understand wanting to be open, still explore, have fun. But I don't believe. Here's where I'm torn, because I never want to encourage somebody to give something up that's good, especially for impulsive, hedonistic things. But I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
My belief is this, and it's definitely hard to swallow even for me as a married man, but I do believe this. There's no such thing as your soulmate, right?
Yeah.
So God forbid my wife ever passed away. I could find love again, right? Like I'd grieve, but I could find love again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important to remember for all of us. Like, do you think this is the perfect man for you, or do you think this is just the best one you've ever had? You can see long term. Like, do you want babies? Do you want to get married? What's your end game, I suppose?
I mean, obviously nobody's perfect. And I mean, I've been hypothetically compatible with a lot of people, but I've seen a lot of issues, with them as well. With him, it's not like I feel like he's more willing to accept me how I am than I feel like a lot of people are. But also, like, he's been willing to do a lot of things with me that a lot of people haven't been willing to do, like, go out and do things and have goals and aspirations and stuff, where a lot of people just want to stay where they're at and they don't ever want to, move forward in life. And,
Okay.
he's on his journey of like self-betterment too. And so am I. And, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people aren't. And so I found people that are compatible, but I've also found that like, I feel like he's more compatible. And also, the fact that we did start out as friends and he never once pressured me anyway, was really nice too, because a lot of people, like, it's the beginning, or, they either want something or they don't. And so for us, it's like we grew that friendship and then it went beyond that.
Okay. Could you see this man as like your deathbed partner, whether or not you want to be married or just together? Hopefully. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't give that up then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think too. And I'm trying. And for me to actually try to want to commit is saying a lot, because, and of course, a lot of I feel like that, besides being in where we're at and, Austin, but also, a lot of mine is trauma based. So, that's another thing,
I do know.
Not wanting to get my heart broken again, like my college relationship,
So, what I'm doing here, you were there for the last week, right? You got to why I'm doing this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if your relationship is ever struggling, like, definitely come to me. But if you're right now just teetering on don't I, make this work? I mean, honestly, I have no doubt in my mind I can help you find somebody who has goal aspirations, is extroverted, likes going out. But I'm also not encouraging you to break up with this guy, right? Like,
of course.
Yeah. If this is somebody you can see spending your life with, I'd work on it. I've definitely met couples that, like, years into it, they suddenly agree that they want to open it up. But they are very honest about the fact that, like, 10 years ago, they wouldn't have done it. 5 years ago, they wouldn't have done it. So I'm not trying to give you like false hope into something, but it's certainly possible that you can still have that lifestyle.
That's what I was thinking, maybe
him.
someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds good. Thank you so much. And I do have that hope. And I do think also, I've dated a lot more than he has, and I've had a lot more life experiences like than he has in the like relationship realm, I guess you'd say.
Mhm.
So that maybe over time he would change his ideas, not idea, his maybe mindset about it, or be willing to be more open about it.
Yep. No.
And also, I think that since he isn't around and stuff like that all the time, um, that's probably a lot of it too, because he can't be here, and he'd be like, well, maybe what else is going on, other than. But we do talk about stuff. Even I'm very open with him about talking, even when I go. And I have done stuff, and I've talked to him about beforehand, and I'm gonna go see so and so or whatever.
Mhm.
And he doesn't say anything negative against it, but I know that he doesn't like it necessarily.
I get you.
So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you
I
for
mean,
all the information.
yeah, you bet. Um, Ashok, I remember you said you have a time restriction, buddy. Do you have a question?
No, I had a pretty long day today. Not coming up with any questions right away. I'm happy to listen in to other people's questions.
Okay, cool deal. Teresa, you had phone to your ear and your arm was getting sore. Do you have any questions?
Okay. I guess my question is I've been single for a very long time, and I think I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But I had one relationship that the guy felt like the whole relationship in itself just was easy. I had the butterflies, we had future plans, and it all changed. And ever since then, it's been very hard to date because I have expectations that there's going to be butterflies and it's just going to be easy and it's going to resemble that relationship in a sense. And I don't feel that with a lot of people.
Okay. Was this like a high school sweetheart for you?
No, it was about 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
you've been comparing every other man to that one amazing relationship from 12 years ago. What made him amazing, if you don't mind me asking?
we just hit it off. We could talk for hours. We had a lot of similar interests. I mean, whether we were cleaning, we were laughing, we'd have fun, just doing like normal day-to-day routine stuff. Very easy. It just felt right.
Okay.
It didn't feel like,
Shared
am I on the
hobbies?
same page? On the same page as me? It just, everything seemed to like just fall into place perfectly until his ex came into the picture.
Oh, so that's why it abruptly ended. He moved on for his ex. Is that what it was?
Well, yeah, he had moved. He was traveling with work, came to Texas, and we met. He was supposedly split up, but she did not accept that, and so she came up with every lie in the book to get him back and faked a pregnancy. And so he said, I didn't want to bring a kid into the world without giving the kid a fair shot at mom and dad. And so he went back with her.
Okay.
And that's how she did everything she could. I didn't fight. I was taking care of my mom with early onset Alzheimer's, and I didn't fight for him. So
Okay.
he won.
No,
But so I
I
think
understand.
that has a huge impact on my relationships now. Since that time I have dated one other guy for a year, and then we abruptly stopped talking as well. So other than that, I get frustrated too easy and I give up.
Okay. What's a source of frustration for you?
Well, not feeling like we're on the same page.
More specifically, like what is the page?
The conversations, like I feel like I give more and I don't get the same kind of back to me.
Okay.
Whether it's like the good morning text or, just a phone call, like how's your day going? whether it's that level or, spending
No, I
time
get you.
together, whether like, hey, I want to do something this weekend, let's plan something, and then they don't follow through.
Okay. So you just want a certain level of investment from the person you're dating. It's basically what I'm hearing.
Yes, and I compare everybody to the easy one where everything just was, we didn't even have to try.
Well, sure, but the easy one didn't have enough time for it to get hard. I'm guessing the way it was described to me.
Yeah,
Could-
it was very fast in 3 months. Like in a month he'd moved in and we had future plans. Like we're gonna build a house and we're gonna buy land and this is gonna be the kind of house. This is where we'll get married. We want kids, so it was very fast.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, generally speaking, the first 6 months is when people start showing the red flags. More than that, the first 6 or 7 years are the most vulnerable for any relationship. If you can make it past the 6th or 7th year, then you're pretty solid foundation. Past that, the next mark for high risk breakups are 10 to 15 years. And the reason is things just get stale. People start growing apart by that much time. So there's different levels to even relationships, let alone dating. But I understand that there was an immense amount of chemistry after, such a short amount of time. And that's something you're looking for. What I would say then, Teresa, is when you're meeting people, stop expecting to date them. Just meet people. Just be willing to make friends. You're very extroverted from what I remember when we met, right? Because you and I met briefly once. Would you consider yourself an extrovert?
To a degree.
To a degree.
Like I can talk to anybody. Yeah, I can talk to anybody.
Do you have like a social
But I
battery
definitely.
that drains, or
I'm sorry. What was
do you have
that?
like a social battery that just drains, or do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get you.
I
Then
love
yeah.
when I'm out, I can be very sociable. I can talk to anybody. And
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, Teresa. So one of the things that I tell people is dating is not like meeting somebody, getting their number, and then going on a movie and a date, right? Like maybe it was, and it still can be. It's just not the most effective way to do it. Frankly, you just want to put yourself in a position where you can meet as many amazing people as you can that share your hobbies, right? So I remember you were telling me you're a country girl. You like doing like really hands-on things, maybe riding on a quad, or I don't know if you said dirt biking, like fishing, hiking, that sort of thing, right? Like, am I remembering correctly?
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I don't see why you couldn't find, like, if you typed up right now on Google, meetupgroup.com, there's a website where people who have those particular hobbies just meet all the time. Or if you Google, where can I go, mudding, dirt bike riding, hiking, any one of those things, and then just go to those events, even by yourself, and just be like, I'm new here, I'm making friends, my name's Teresa, who are you guys? And you don't have to talk to people you're necessarily attracted to. You just have to talk to people. And by virtue of just exposing yourself to those environments, one, you're going to have the same interests and hobbies. Right. So it's not like you're meeting somebody at a bar secretly hoping that they have the same interests. Because if you go to a bar, that's like going to the Pacific Ocean with a fishing rod trying to catch fish. And you're like, I'm here to catch fish. It's like, well, let's be really specific about what we're looking for, because there's a lot of random fish here. It's a big ocean, right?
Yes.
So if you were looking for salmon, you're not going to find that in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You'd be better served just going to a river where you're going to find salmon. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do the same thing. Like I would legitimately, instead of like, you can still keep going to these groups that I met you at. But go to events where they do like fishing tournaments, or see if there's a Facebook group for people who like to fish in your area, or literally any number of hobbies that you have. And then instead of trying to date, Teresa, just make friends. I actually believe that's the foundation of a really great relationship, is because sometimes we fall into relationship with people we have like sexual chemistry with that we find attractive. But then after a while, we grow apart or things get stale after the honeymoon phase because there's no actual friendship there. If you can have a friend first, then you know that foundation's there. And it should be easy because you never run out of things to talk about. That's your best friend.
Yeah. And I don't, like, when I go out and stuff, I don't go to date, but like, I'm also not dating. So something's not,
Right.
we're not making that next step.
No, and I would stop thinking of it as dating, because it applies a level of pressure for you that may not serve you quite as well if you were just relaxed in yourself. I'm just going out to make friends that share my hobbies. That's it. I guarantee you, Teresa, you'll find somebody that you're attracted to. Now, when you do, we can start talking about personality and like strengths and weaknesses amongst that personality. But at that point, we're covering a whole new set of problems. Right now, the only problem we're trying to overcome and make sure that you never have to deal with again is, where do I find amazing people that I have chemistry with, and that it just seems easy, natural, and we share the same, I guess, relationship values, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because
So
like
it's easier if it is somebody that has similar interests. You
100%.
think that's like a foundation?
I think it's a requirement.
Okay. So
Yeah,
not like polar opposites or anything along those lines.
Opposites attract, but in the term in masculine feminine terms, right? So like if two people, if you're dealing with a hyper masculine woman and she meets a hyper masculine man, they're going to butt heads a lot, right?
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
No. Yeah, they're just going to butt heads a lot. But I've actually never met a woman, even the hyper masculine ones, that didn't secretly wish that they met a masculine man who could make them feel like a woman so they can just let go and be more feminine. Like every single one of them, they secretly want that. The problem is they've been let down by so many men that they're just not willing to let go. They're afraid to let go. They want to, they're just scared. And so when we're talking about opposites attract, we're talking about masculine, feminine energies. We're talking about sometimes extroversion. We're talking about how are my wife and I different, like just polar opposites. There's a few ways. She's looking at me funny. Yeah, fair enough. But like it also gives you room to have different hobbies, you know what I mean? Like, or not fundamentally different hobbies, just different hobbies in general, right? Let's just say, for example, you've been dating for a while, you do everything together, but then you decided to start taking up, I don't know, painting as an example, and he just started taking up woodworking. Like then you can come back and share your fun new hobby that you don't do together, but that you learned. And that way, you never really run the risk of growing apart, because you're always bringing it back together to the foundation of like what you guys are sharing your experiences separately. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, honestly, Teresa, if you do those things alone, just go to like, tell me right now, what are 3 hobbies that you would like to do? Whether it's like fishing, woodworking, hunting, dirt bike riding. I keep stumbling over that word for some reason. Like what are some things you want to do?
I like paddleboarding. So I
Paddleboard.
joined a Facebook group that does paddleboarding.
Okay.
I've only been to like one event, so and I mean I do like fishing, so
Okay.
that's
Paddleboarding,
something.
fishing. What else?
I don't know. Pretty much anything outdoors. Like I'd like hiking. If it's outside, I enjoy it.
Okay. What about
But
what about gardening?
That's all right. It's
That's
more of
all
my
right.
stress relief
It's not highest on the list.
activity.
All right, I get it.
So,
But we have two so far, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I would find things in those two areas. And honestly, what's interesting to me is you say anything that's outdoors, but you're struggling to answer it, right? Anything that's outdoors is a very long list.
I
So,
keep meeting a lot of people that don't like to be outside. So,
right, but you're meeting them at bars and in social environments. You're not meeting them where they're already doing something they love that is outdoors. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Somebody that hikes religiously is never going to tell you they hate the outdoors.
mm-mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So go to the river that has that particular fish. That's what I'm saying. But
Okay.
come up with more than two,
Okay. I'll
which
work on
should
that.
be easy because you love everything that's outdoors.
I will work on the activities that I like to do.
Yeah, and that's the easy part. Like, it gets more complicated when we start talking about personality theories and what have you.
Okay.
Teresa, to add to yours, actually, I would say do those things, but then when you meet them, always introduce yourself. Hi, my name's Teresa. I'm really here because I love the outdoors and I'm trying to meet like-minded people. Right. And then what that does is it gives them an opportunity to say something like, oh, I'm just here to try something new. I'm not really an outdoorsy person, in which case don't waste your time. Or, they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. You've come to the right place. Like, I love being outdoors. This is all I do. Nice to meet you. My name's Jake. You know what I mean? Like, but you give them room to respond to the reason that you're actually there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once you've done that, come back next week and we'll talk about like the 2 or 3 dudes that you met and then how to establish that relationship with that foundation that you want.
So pretty much I have to go out.
Ye-
I'm very much, I guess, a homebody, so to say. I love my alone time. I like cleaning and, that kind of stuff because it relieves my anxiety and stress.
So hold
but
on.
I never go out.
There's a massive disconnect between I love doing everything outdoors and I never go outdoors because I'm a homebody.
I do. I'll do yard work and gardening and,
But you don't like gardening.
I know I like gardening. I like it. But it's more of a stress relief than something fun.
Okay. Then do more fun things. Because
Yeah.
really what I
That's-
heard, Teresa, was that you're chronically stressed and you self-soothe at home doing things outdoors that are stress relieving, not fun.
That's fair.
Yeah. But
I agree.
fun things are stress relieving.
Because I went to a pool party and then we went out a couple of times and it's been fun. I've had so much fun.
And that's
Yeah.
where you met my wife, right? At the pool party? Bree.
What was that?
That's where you met Bree at the pool party?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't there that day. But okay, that makes sense. So yeah, just the one fact that you did something new that you don't normally do introduced you to my wife, who just happened to be married to a dude with a very particular set of skills that can help you out to find your ideal man. Sounds like fate to me. I don't know.
It does.
Very serendipitous.
Yes. And then through the process, I'll make a lot of friends.
There you go. And honestly, like I've met people that don't want a lot of friends. They just want a tight-knit group of friends that they really enjoy, right? Those are not the most extroverted people, but they can still have what they want. You no longer get to identify as a homebody though, because if you do, what's going to happen, Teresa, is you're going to meet a dude that loves to go out and you're going to get nervous, or you're not going to want to leave your home because you're chronically stressed. And then you'll come up with excuses and then you'll sabotage a potentially good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, humans have a very strong need to be congruent with how they identify. If you identify yourself as somebody who's a homebody, you're gonna self-sabotage. Now, actually, since nobody else seems to have that many questions, do you want somebody who likes to do fun things outdoors, but is also somewhat of a homebody, like a 50-50 mix?
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what you want?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay, perfect. So then just tell people I'm looking to, like, I'm half homebody, half outdoorsy, but I don't have friends, and I'm literally just, I'm coming out here to meet them. I'm looking to make friends, and hi, my name's Teresa. But
I drive Uber, and so every other ride I give, I'm meeting new people, and I talk to them all the time, and I've exchanged a lot of phone numbers, and so I am starting that process.
But you're still hunting in the Pacific Ocean, fishing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Very much
I'm
so.
trying to streamline this process for you so quickly.
Okay.
So I get it. I love what you're doing. Now let's refine it. Let's make it easier.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think with me going out the last couple of weekends, it's been fun because it made me realize that I don't want to be a homebody 100%.
Boom.
And I think that's why because I have not met anybody, because I just stay at home.
Okay. Yep. That's a fact. Yeah. If you're always at home, you can't meet people.
So that definitely helps.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Honestly, Teresa, the next time we talk, you shouldn't have that problem. You should like, even if you haven't gone out yet, you should have things lined up. Like maybe next week, I'm lined up to do X, Y, Z. Right. Okay.
Okay, so where's everybody from? Are they close to your area, or these are people that are from the different parts of the world, of the United States?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, mostly Austin. I've invited some other people.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Mishi and Jenny were invited, although they didn't show up. So I need to find a new favorite aunt now.
Well, they both came out at the same place, so.
Yeah.
It's just general advice.
Okay.
So recently I started doing a kind of partner dancing. I think it's pretty fun. Someone introduced it to me, someone that I know, and I'm finding it very hard to talk to people during it. The music's pretty loud. Everyone's always moving. Since I'm new, I'm focusing on my footwork. And so I end up meeting people that seem very cool, but I don't have the knowledge of like how to like talk to them and figure out if they are. And so I was wondering what you would do in that situation.
Wait, you don't
Do
have
you
the
smoke?
knowledge to figure out if what?
Well, I guess I kind of have the knowledge, but I'm struggling to like have an actual conversation, and I'm not sure if I should just try to meet them somewhere outside or try to have the conversation while dancing or just sitting at a table.
Yeah, so honestly, when you're doing something like dancing, because I'm not a big dancer, but one of the things that I've learned is you don't need an excuse to dance, especially if you're going to a dance event, right? You just have to do whatever dances or two steps or whatever you're doing. And you can even like joke and be like, oh, I'm learning, I'm completely awkward. Like I'm bad at this. This is actually why I'm here. So be patient with me. My name's Zohair, by the way. What is your name? And they'll tell you. And then because you've established who you are, you're not a complete stranger. You've been touching because you're dancing. Afterwards, you can find them and just be like, oh my God, thank you so much. I apologize if that was awkward. I'm definitely here to learn, do you have any tips? Like, and then just start a conversation. But like,
so wait till after when the music's kind of died down, maybe.
100, yeah, absolutely. Because if you're trying to talk while you're dancing, you're interrupting the flow of the dance, of the music. I mean, she might be trying to focus just as much as you are. And if you're especially trying to focus because you may not be the best dancer, I don't know, then
Just new, not bad.
yeah, well, just new, fair enough. But like then talking is not the thing to do in the middle of the thing you're learning how to do. That's like me going to psychology class going, I'm here to learn psychology, guys, and then talking about anything other than psychology in the middle of a classroom where I'm supposed to be learning about psychology. Talk about it after.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I mean, I've been doing that so far, so yeah.
Then what's keeping you from the results that you're looking for? Like, are you looking to get numbers? Are you looking to go on dates? Are you looking to build attraction? Are you looking, or are you just looking to dance? Because if you're just looking to dance, then you're not doing anything wrong.
Dance and meet people. The goal with meeting people depends on like who I meet. I
Well,
don't have a specific goal.
that's the thing, and that might be your problem actually, is you don't have a specific goal. Therefore, there's nowhere to lead you, even as a teacher. Like me as I can't help you because you need a specific goal, right? I tell Teresa to go out to like a fishing event so she can meet people who are 50% homebody and 50%, you know, fishermen who are maybe also trying to get outside of their comfort zone, who share some cultural and cultural values as well as other values, relationship values. There we go. That's what I was trying to think of. But you went to a place to learn how to dance, and you want to meet people. But go to a Starbucks and you'll meet people. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to invite them to other things? Are you trying to, you know, date multiple people? Are you trying to meet only, you know, women? Do you want like an entourage of women to come with you to a bar when you go to one? Like, what are your goals?
I guess for now it's just make friends. It's kind of like make friends, see what happens later. That's the goal.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. To which I would say, make friends, and then if you can like, I don't want to presume what your problems in dating are, but making friends is the foundation, not the goal. The house is the goal, you just need the foundation, right? So you're like, I'm trying to make friends. That's like going to a bunch of land and then just pouring cement. And then you're like, I don't know what I want to do, but like, here's 3 blocks of cement in different lots and patches because I'm just here to make cement. You know what I mean? Like, the foundation's there. Now what? Now you get friend zoned. Now you're stuck. Now there's nowhere to go. Like, here's what I would say that's much more effective if you're just looking to make friends. Is make friends with really attractive women or just women in general. Friends, though, don't try to sleep with them, and then invite them to go do things with you. And then what happens is you show up with 3 women on your side and everyone's like, who the fuck is that guy? That's a much more effective plan.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? But like, you need a goal past just putting cement down as a foundation. And I don't think you've actually thought about that part yet.
You're right. I've kind of just been figuring it out as I go.
That's fair.
So
Yeah, man. Like in dating, right? Never mind dancing and trying to make friends, but like in dating, do you want to be a bachelor? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids one day? Like, what do you want? What are your long-term goals?
is this rhetorical?
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
It's scary that you thought that.
No, I mean, I thought you were asking me to think about it.
Oh,
That's-
I am. I'm asking you to think about it for an answer though, because that's going to help me, help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Long-term married, but probably not for at least 5 years. For now, I just want to explore a bit, date a bit.
Okay. How old are you?
24.
24. In 5 years, you'll be 29. Do you want kids?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay. That makes things easier. I was about to say, women have a biological time clock, man. Okay, fair enough. So then, yeah, I like, honestly, I'm looking to make friends. Like, if you slept with one of these women that you were dancing with, would that be like awful? Is that not what you're trying to do?
I mean, no, that'd be pretty great. I'm just saying, like,
So,
I'm,
so maybe you
I'm
want
not going where
somebody-
there with the goal of like sleeping with as many people as I can.
right,
The goal
and
is to
that
have fun.
should be the goal. But being a sexual person, you might want a sexual partner. Maybe.
True.
Is sex taboo? Like, is that hard to talk about?
A little bit, but I'm working on it.
Okay. Then dancing is a very sexual act, just so we're clear.
Oh, I am clear.
Okay. All right. Do you have any women at this dance group that you're attracted to?
Physically, yes. Beyond that, not really. And I
Okay,
kind of
men-
need the beyond
mentally,
that
you're
to
just not
know.
attracted to them.
And that's why I asked the question, the first question.
Physically, yes, and then I didn't catch the second part.
Basically, I need somewhat of an emotional connection, I guess, to
Okay.
really be attracted to someone. I can notice if someone's hot, but beyond that, I don't really care.
Okay, and then how do you get that emotional connection? Like, have you ever had a girlfriend where you've had that emotional connection?
I have, and it was just honestly a good conversation.
Do you? So were you there last week when I talked about oxytocin?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I mean, touch, deep conversation, laughter, sex, all of those things trigger oxytocin. You're doing like
Right.
two of those things just by being at a dance group. Touch and conversation. Talk about sex. Maybe invite these women to a comedy event. Like, what's really interesting, Zohair, this is a cool hack. If you spend 4 hours at one specific venue having deep conversation, you might remember that. But if you spend that 4 hours and you're like an hour into it, you're like, you know what? Do you want to bounce? Do you want to go somewhere else? And then you go get like ice cream, and then you go like watch a movie. I don't know. And then you guys go walk in the park. Now you've had a set of memories in a variety of different areas where that emotional connection is going to be much more heightened. But if all you're doing is just meeting in one venue over and over and over and over again, it becomes routinized. There's not, your brain chemistry actually can't identify depth under one specific set of social context, I guess.
I did not consider that.
So when you're meeting people, yeah, I mean, like, feel free to say that, you know, you're looking to make friends. Feel free to say that, you know, you want to go do X, Y, and Z. Do you guys like ice cream? Do you guys like going for walks? Do you guys like biking? Like, whatever it is that you like to do those things outside of just dance. But then don't be weird and try to hit on them, because you, like you said, you're just trying to make friends. What I would do with this group of female friends is use what's called social proof, which is to say that because women trust you and they're around you all the time, other women will see you and you have an advantage over the single guy at the bar who is trying to hit on women because he's alone. He doesn't have women with him. Women haven't done what's called pre-qualify him. You have that. Actually, you have several women with you. And then when you say, hi, my name's Zohair, I'm just looking to make friends, she believes you. But if there's chemistry there, right, because I'll teach you how to build that, then you can escalate. But don't ruin it with the dance group.
Yeah,
that would be
makes sense.
that would be a much more refined way of approaching it, rather
Okay.
than having sex with people at the dance group.
Right. I mean, I'd also prefer not to, just because I'd be seeing them at a hobby, which could be weird.
And you know, it'd be fun is if like you see people dancing, like I used that example before, right? Like about stiff hips when they're dancing, they're probably bad at sex. Like you can use that to talk about sex.
Yeah, I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I did that. But
Well,
I do know what you mean.
but I still do it. So it makes it funny.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Chris,
Yes.
I can start, but it'll probably take an half an hour.
Let's
don't know.
see.
Okay. So yeah, we have talked about this stuff a little bit here and there. Ashok knows about it. I have had only one relationship, if you call that, like marriage, 21 years. I've never dated anybody else in India. I came here, I was divorced 3.5 years ago. I find it challenging to date in general. People
Why?
say Austin is hard because I guess the primary reason is I'm not able to make it a man to woman. I'm not able to sexualize. I'm not able to tell people that, hey, I'm really interested in you. And,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay. So
It's too much.
I know. So what I've been doing in past 3 years is kind of like that, where I needed things to do for myself just to figure out what I like to do. So I joined Austin social scene and I made a whole bunch of friends, and
You made a lot of friends.
a lot of friends. I made friends in the Austin consciousness community. Like there's tons of people and sound bath people and all kinds of people. I'm still trying to figure out what I really like to do, kind of thing.
Okay.
But dating in general is okay. So obviously with apps, I absolutely have no luck whatsoever. Like
Do you know why? Do you know why?
I guess I don't exactly know how to be funny or
That's not why.
what is that?
So the reason is a big reason is right because like there's text game, which I'm not a big fan of. I'm much more into personal interactions. But did you know that women consider what did they say? What was the study that women consider 80% of men to be below average? And if you know anything about numbers and statistics, that doesn't add up.
Right.
So only 20% of men are the top 20% of men in terms of good looks are average.
Right.
Right. And if you know anything about like good looking men, is oftentimes they get by on their good looks, but they're dumb as shit. Like they just have nothing going for them.
Right.
Right. My wife is in the background laughing because she knows. Like, but women will date a man that has substance who may not be their ideal type looks, but they're not as superficial as we men are. We're more visual creatures for sure.
Right.
But even then, like, dude, people fall in love with all the time. Like our standards, our looks, like trying to date a 10 isn't actually what we're looking for. It's what we think we're looking for. But we'll break up with a 10 if she's a horrible person. Right.
Right.
So
for sure.
Yeah. So with you, man, like instead of just being like, I'm interested in you, being very direct and upfront, you want this like push and pull dynamic of like, you're kind of fun. I like you. That's it. Nothing like that. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top, nothing overly sexual. And
Right.
if it's like, I like you too, you're pretty fun, then cool. You know you're here. And then like I see you out at these like night clubs, bars, what have you. If ever you see somebody dancing or just kind of moving, just be like, I like the way you're wiggling your hips. It's pretty cute. But like it's slightly sexual, just not overtly sexual.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess most of the time I don't even say things that are slightly sexual, but I think like after 6 months, I'm coming to that point now.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't have to be this over the top thing. Like, it's not like you're trying to be like, hey, nice tits. Like that's not what you're doing.
Right.
You're just making socially acceptable compliments each time.
Yep.
Is that like, even conceptually, is that hard to imagine doing?
Not really. that much I can do. I'm definitely not shy, but I do. The last time we were talking about it, like when you find somebody attractive, like your brain shuts off, right?
Mhm.
So I'm slowly working on that part,
You know what's funny is every single time I see you out there, you're with an attractive woman. Every
So
time.
I did figure out how to make good friends for sure.
Yeah, no, like I honestly think your biggest problem is not finding women that you're attracted to, not finding attractive women, not talking. It's just escalating. That's it.
Right.
I think
Right.
it's like, dude, and that's as simple as giving minor compliments that escalate slowly. But like, it's not just compliments. High five somebody. Tap them on the shoulder when you're trying to get their attention. Then
Right.
tap them on the leg. Like if you don't know somebody and you tap them on the thigh when they're wearing a skirt, that's super weird. If you've high-fived, you've tapped them on the arm, and then you tap them on the thigh, they're used to you touching them.
Right.
Now you can get away with it, like your hand on their thigh. But it's slow, gradual, step-by-step pieces. I will literally, when I'm going out meeting people, be like, how can I break the touch barrier as quickly as humanly possible? I don't care if it's a high five. I don't care if it's as stupid as like trying to do a thumb war. I will find a way to break that touch barrier very quickly.
Yeah. So lately I've been doing that too. Like I'm able to break the touch barrier for sure.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So then what happens is I sometimes get the number, and then next day, they're not drunk, and we're back to square one. So
You
I'm
don't call
not
them the
really
next day.
Huh? Sorry.
Don't call them the next day.
I mean, say next day doesn't matter. Next day doesn't matter, right? Next week, next month. Doesn't matter.
Do you sleep with them or no?
No.
No. Okay. So then do this. Ready? Instead
Yeah.
of having like, have a good night. It was great to meet you. I have your number. Yep, I'll contact you. Don't do that.
Yeah.
When you're with somebody and you're having a great time, just be like, what do you like to do for fun? Like, what's your favorite hobby? And she'll tell
Right.
you,
Right.
like, I like to do XYZ. I don't like to do this, or I like to do this, but I don't do it enough. Then just be like, oh my God, we should totally do that together. I'll tell you what, are you free this week? And now you have the next date planned on something they want to do already.
Right.
It's not like next morning, like, hey, let's catch up. Hey, I had a great time last night. You're not in that awkward phase.
Right.
Right? You've already set up the next date on the damn date.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Change that one thing, and I guarantee you'll have more follow-ups.
Okay. Let me try that.
Yeah, you bet, man. Do it on the date.
Yes.
Not at the end, in the middle. When things are going great, that's when you want to do it.
Got it. Okay.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really, because every time I talk to you, you like level up, it seems. But dude, you have no problems meeting women. It's actually,
Yeah, for sure. For sure, I'm leveling up, but it's still like has been like 4.5 years, and I don't think I have had a decent date. So that that bothers me.
But you're setting up the date on the date. When you meet somebody and you're building experiences with them, that is a date, 100%. She's choosing to spend her time with you over everyone else there.
So one thing happened, funny story. Well, not exactly funny, but I go to radio, I see a woman, she's like sitting on a corner. I notice her for quite a bit of time. Like I was with my friend, we were just hanging out.
Mhm.
And then she's by herself, and I go in and out, she goes in and out. And then finally I just take my drink and I walk there and say, hey, I think you're getting bored. You can use some company. And she laughs.
Well
We
done.
started talking for next 2 hours.
Yep.
Like we connected, everything is fine. We talked about things that we like. She said, I want to try some good Indian place, whatever. She worked at an orthodontist office.
Orthodontist. Okay.
Yeah. So when we were talking, we were like quite far. She gave me the number. We came close. She's like, I will kiss you next time. She had my number. I tried to set up the date. She totally ghosted me. Like totally ghosted me. She would not even tell that, hey, like, the only thing I can think of is she doesn't like the way my breath smells.
Maybe.
The
I
only,
mean, like, dude, I chew gum religiously. One,
Yeah.
because one, it helps me focus, but two, like, I never have to worry about my breath smelling weird if I'm chewing gum.
right.
And like
Right.
sometimes I don't get to go home and brush my teeth before I want to go out.
Right.
Sometimes I
Oh,
go out, I have a burger. Like,
I have learned some of these things the hard way. Like now, whenever I go out, like 5 minutes before I go out, I take a shower. I brush my teeth.
Yep.
Like over the years, I'm like, my nose is not sensitive, so I can't tell. Somebody's is, right? So,
but what you did is you did the thing that the classic Hollywood movie scene, except you didn't make it to her doorstep where you were like, do I, don't I kiss you?
Yeah.
You were just at her doorstep and she goes, next time, and then ghosted you. Break the touch. Like you said it yourself, we were far apart talking.
yeah.
And then you got closer.
Right.
Don't do that. Immediately get close.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's just a handshake.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. When I was learning dating, I had a coach that would go out with me and like they would push me to do things that were very uncomfortable, but I got results really quickly. And I would talk to like all these women. I talked to like bridesmaids at events. I talked to like people at bars. And every single time he's like, dude, you're too far away. And I'm like, homie, I'm like this far away from them. Like I can't get any closer. And he's like, yeah, but you're not touching them. I don't care how fucking close you are. You're not touching them. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, and it took me a long time to realize, break the touch barrier.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, dude, you have game, you have good looks, like you're charming. Like I've seen women show interest in you. You just don't escalate, so they friend zone you.
Right.
Yeah. They have to see you as a sexual creature, 100%.
Got it. Okay.
I'd make jokes about the Kama Sutra. Like legitimately, I would make jokes about the Kama Sutra all the time.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man. Yeah, but next week, I like this weekend, you should put that in practice. Chew gum if you have to, break the touch barrier, tap their thigh after you've touched their arm to get their attention, right? Like they might not even be distracted, but if they are, whether they are or it doesn't matter. You can still tap their arm with the back of your hand, right? Like, because you never want to use your palm to touch them. You want to use the back of your hand. So like, it's less threatening than this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, got it. Okay.
It's a subtle tweet, but I've noticed that when it comes to body language and women's especially, that one difference like can be the difference between I trust you and that was kind of weird.
Okay, so tell me what's a no-no and what's a
Yep, you tap them with the back of your hand. So imagine there's an invisible arm right here. You tap them like this instead of palm facing.
Okay.
So the back of your hand. Yeah, but that's it. That's the only thing I would do. Just break the touch barrier and just be like, oh my, I can't hear you. Actually, let me get closer to you. What were you saying? And then you can tap their arm while you do it, while you lean in.
Yeah.
You're exposing your neck. It's very like wolves do that. They expose their neck when they're trying to simulate that they're not a threat. Humans respond very similarly. I can't hear you. What were you saying? And then she'll probably lean in. And it's almost like this intimate scene where she's like very close to your neck, but trying to talk into your ear.
Right.
And then you can hold their arm to like balance yourself. And then you pull back and you're like, oh my God, I know what you mean. And then when she talks, you lean in and you have your arm on her shoulder. It's just body language.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. But you want to break that touch barrier, 100%.
Okay, so with him, when you were talking to him, I kind of had to laugh. Because I wondered, like, how many men probably hit on me and are trying to make moves, and
Many.
I blow them off.
I guarantee many.
And is that a bad thing? Is that me being all up in my head? Like, do I blatantly not see that? Or is there like anything that I should like do about it? Because when he was talking and I mean, I've had it where people have like made that kind of touch thing and they've, initiated that stuff. And I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
Cal, your
so he's
reaction.
he's a dating coach. He probably knows how to read the body language much better than I do. But I will answer your question. Like, if I'm talking to you at a club or whatever, and you like me, you have to give me some signal. Like, you have to look into my eyes and like gently touch my shoulder or something. That tells me that she's interested in me. Like, I don't know like how to read subtle signals than that,
You'll know to recognize them when you start putting them into practice, by the way. Like, you'll get better at what you're doing with your body. Like when you lean in because it's too loud and you have your arm on their shoulder.
Right.
Yeah. Like that's a micro thing, but it's like you're 12 steps ahead of the other person. You know exactly what you're doing to build attraction. Meanwhile, she's like, wow, this guy's really cool. I find him like, I'm attracted to him.
Right. And at the same time, saying there's a step 2 for her, like show something back. That way the guy knows that you are interested in.
For Teresa, well, really the lesson for you, Cal, is she goes, I've had those interactions, but he didn't do anything. I just assumed they weren't interested. You,
Right.
you stand far away.
Yeah. So then there is 2 kinds of women. One would say that, oh, if he's not alpha, I'm not interested in him. Or maybe if you're not that, then you should show some interest. Like,
get rid of alpha. Get rid of that.
Right.
There's no such thing as an alpha, especially in today's social.
There are women who say that if a man is not approaching me, no matter how interesting he is, I'm not talking to him. There are people like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. That's your thing.
Yeah. Like, that's bad dating advice that like is spread around our culture. Don't listen to that. That's really, really bad advice. Yeah. Because again, you're approaching everybody all the time. I know you.
Right.
But would you say you're an alpha man because you approach women to hit on them?
I am definitely not like crazy alpha. Yeah,
but you do that. You just don't do the other half of it.
Right. Right.
I consider you alpha. I just don't think it's a good way to conceptualize it because it puts labels on something that shouldn't have a label.
Right.
It should be very go with the flow. It should seem natural. Yeah, man. And Teresa, to answer your question, yes, I do think that plenty of men have tried to hit on you. They just don't have game, or they got bad dating advice, or they're afraid that like they're going to come off as, try hard, and they're intimidated. Men are scared of women. Teresa, you weren't there last week. I was talking about my my old college roommates. Because when I was in college, I had zero game. Like, I am not the human you see right here, right now. Very different human being. Okay. And my college roommates were collegiate athletes, like really good looking dudes with, they could just pull women. And I remember being like so jealous, not like in a hateful way, just jealous. Because I felt like I could never be that guy. I learned game, went back to Florida, got to connect with some of my old college roommates. And I was like, hey guys, let's go out to a bar. Let's have some drinks. Like, I told them what I do, and they're like, oh, it's super cool. And then I'd be like, the bartender's really cute, dude. And he, like, my buddy, who's really good looking, could pull women, gorgeous women. And he's like, yeah, I think so too. I was like, dude, go talk to her. He's like, hell no. I was like, what do you mean, hell no? He's like, I don't approach. I was like, what do you mean you don't approach? He's like, I will never approach. He's like, I refuse to, I'm not getting rejected. It's not happening. And it blew my brain because I was like, dude, I've seen you with attractive women. Like, why is this a problem? And approaching for men is really hard. So even initiating interest, Teresa, men don't want to get rejected. So you also have to give off subtle hints that you're attracted to them, or recognize body language to know when a guy is attracted to you. If his feet are facing you, even though he's looking somewhere else, it's a sign that he's paying attention to you. And it's weird because I will catch myself doing it, even at somewhere as simple as the gym. Like, I'm very aware of my feet when I'm doing this. And even like when I'm doing something as mundane as like working out or walking or like just standing around, I sometimes catch myself. I'm like, damn it, my feet are facing her. Like my body
Okay.
language tells on me. Thank God nobody else knows how to read body language. But when you start looking at feet, Cal, do this. When you're attracted to a woman, just like pay attention to where your feet are. Are they facing her? Because I can almost guarantee they are. It'll blow your brain how often that happens. And nobody knows it.
Okay.
If I'm out at bars, I can guarantee who's attracted to who based on how their feet are positioned, how their hips are positioned. I know who's more attracted, like in a date, because one person's leaning in and the other person's leaning back. If they're both leaning in, that date's going great.
Hmm.
It's reading body language. So I'm like really sad that these questions came after everybody left because I want to teach psychology and now we're talking about psychology. But yes,
Maybe
this
next,
is the shit that I
yeah,
teach.
maybe next session just start with the body. Let's talk about body language kind of thing.
Dude,
It'll be really
Yeah.
interesting.
But you have to ask me questions. I don't just get
Okay.
to talk about things because
Okay.
that's not what this
I'll
is.
ask the questions.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, honestly, the next time you should be like, I noticed my feet, Cal. I noticed my feet like facing towards women I was attracted to. It's very weird. And then Teresa, you should be like, I noticed like 3 feet facing me this week when the dude wasn't even looking at me. I don't care if they're sitting or standing. Pay attention to their feet. It's the weirdest thing. It's just like this weird law of human behavior. Our feet face to where we want to go, even if we're pretending to be distracted.
Huh.
Yeah, it's super weird. I'm telling you, it'll be a fun experiment to like pay attention to this week. Just pay attention to feet.
So I have like resting bitch face. Like I feel like you can read all my emotions on my face. And so like I'm like, you know, if I'm in a bar, maybe I'm like looking. I like to people watch, so I people
Yeah.
watch all day long. But like sometimes my face will be like in a serious mode. But like I'm thinking like when these men are like hitting on me, are they speaking about my face? My face that I'm like, and I don't like them. Like, do I need to be what I do to make me seem like, hey, I'm out there, I'm putting myself out there, I want to date, like approach me? Like I feel like I don't do that. Like when I go out with you guys, I'm just like, cool, I know these people, I'm here to make friends, but I'm not doing anything for myself that I know or recognize that says, hey, approach me. Like,
Yeah.
Is there things I can do differently that, or like even the noticing, like you were talking about like the hand and the touching, and I've like thought of a couple of times that's happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh, were they coming on to me?
A little bit.
And I'm just now.
Yep. Look,
So is there a way
Teresa,
to-
I'll use this example. Teresa and Cal, you can both give me your experiences. If you're disgusted with somebody, do you want to touch them? Even remotely, like to put your hand on them? Like,
No.
Right, exactly. People don't touch or get close to people that they're not attracted to. Cal, you make people
Okay.
think you're not attracted to them. Meanwhile, you're just afraid of rejection. She's like, why doesn't he like me? I've spent
Right.
2 hours with him tonight. Am I boring? Like, damn it, another guy friend zoned me. Women have the same problem. Men just don't know it. And women don't realize that men, no matter how good looking, are afraid to approach. It is the weirdest thing.
So how do I show that I'm interested back?
Yeah.
I know
so
you talked
to answer your resting bitch face, your
Like,
eyebrows, if they're
meaning-
constantly furrowed, unfurrow them and raise them a little slightly, and you'll look stupid, but you'll get rid of your resting bitch. You'll feel stupid. You won't look stupid, but like raise your eyebrows and then do this light smile where your chin is slightly hanging, and you won't look like
Okay.
this. Because
Any other
this
things
means
that
closed
are-
off, this means open. Sorry.
Anything else that's not face related that can, like you said, like the touch for him, but is that the same for women too? Do women need to touch too?
Yeah, 100% women need to touch
Yep.
too. But honestly, what I would do, like I do this as a man, but this would definitely work if a woman did this to me. if she grabbed, I do this, so I'll explain what I do, but you can imagine the reverse, right? Sometimes if I'm like holding their hand or like, you know, high-fiving or what have you, I've done this. I've high-fived, I've grabbed their hand and let it around my arm, and then I have my arm around theirs while theirs is around my neck. And I've had women look at me and they're like, that was pretty damn smooth. And I was like, yeah, it's fun. If you did that to a man, his brain would be blown.
So like when we left the bar that one night and I was wearing my heels, I grabbed Tom and I was like, "You're my level. You're gonna be my shoulder to walk on." Like, did he think I was coming on to him?
I don't know.
Like, how do you know? Like, I was doing it like friendly, but like, how do you know if it's just not being friendly versus the relationship side?
Men can never know either. And men actually have that problem. It's one of the reasons men are afraid to sexually escalate, is because they are attracted to somebody and they get nervous, or they're attracted to somebody, but they don't know if the other person feels the same way about them sexually, right? So you just assume that you're great and you do things that it's called sexual escalation, but you are in charge of it. You put it into action. And you want consent, but the consent is that they're accepting of these different motions, right? So like,
Okay.
So for example, you can compliment a dude's outfit, especially if he put effort into his outfit, right?
Right.
Yeah, you could do that. That's expressing interest by itself. But it's not like he's thinking like, oh my God, she wants to fuck me right now. Like, that's not what he's thinking. And if a man does that to a woman properly, she's not thinking the same thing. That's not what you want. What you want is baby step escalation. And that's what I was telling Cal, break the touch barrier, touch on the forearm, right? Touch with behind the hand. Then do that thing where you put them around your neck and then you're holding their shoulder, right? And then Teresa, you can do something like, oh my God, I can't tell you, it's like really attractive to like stand next to a tall man who can like be at my level. And you're not saying, I want to fuck you. You're just saying it is attractive that this thing.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 And then if he says anything back, like you just want to lead it in a socially acceptable way. And then ideally they match your investment.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
That's easy. Yeah. Yeah.
If he grabs your arm to lead you somewhere, that he's doing the thing that I'm teaching you to do. Whether he means to or not,
Okay.
doesn't matter. I assume everyone's fair game. The only question is, do I like them and am I attracted to them? I never think, oh my God, I hope she likes me. I'm just trying to be awesome and I know how to escalate. That's it. That's all I do.
Okay.
But
Alright.
I'm the one that has the skill set. I know how to lead it. That's what you're here to do.
So I had one of my Uber riders. He was like, "You are so gorgeous." You know, he kept taking it to the next level and taking it to the next level. And like, it finally got to a point where like, I was like ready to squirm. Like, I didn't even know how to, like, I didn't know if I wanted to respond. I mean, I was like, this is weird. Like, okay, you know, it's not the first time that's happened, but I get to that point where I like start squirming. Like, I'm like, this is not something I'm used. It's
squirming like feeling like a little girl because this is great, or squirming like this is weird and creepy?
No, it's just like, wow, somebody's like really like, he's all about this. Like, he offered me to come and stay at his house. He's like, "You're welcome to come stay here." He's like, "I got you." He's like, "You want a drink here?" And he gave me a Red Bull. Like, he was putting it out there hard. And I was like, now what do I say? Like,
You put the ball in his court. You do exactly what I did to Cal, which is give him room to lead by saying, look, homie, if you're going to hit on me, you may as well just take me on a date. Here are things I love to do. Are you like, can you hang? Are you competitive? Because like,
awesome.
you see what I'm saying? But you make it a challenge for him.
Like, that's great, because like I get to that point where I'm like squirming and I'm like, And I always wonder, like, are they just trying to get a hookup for the night, or are they really investing?
But they can't get a hookup if you're the one that's leading. If you want to have sex with him, go for it. But don't be the one that's relying on his investment, because you know how to lead it.
Yeah,
Right.
which
Like,
means
you
saying, hey,
do what I did for Cal, which is to say, when things are going great in the moment, just be like, what are some,
Yeah.
like, here's what I love to do. I'm like super competitive though. Can you hang? If he's like, oh girl, like I've been doing this my whole life, then just be like, all right, cool. Let me get your number. Are you free on Thursday? Or like, when are you free? However you want to word it, right? And then set
right.
the date. And then you don't have to go home with him, because unless you want to, you totally can, but you don't have to, because you know you're meeting on Thursday. And if it goes
Perfect.
well, you can go for ice cream, you can go for a movie, and then just be like, you know what? Like, I'm a homebody. Like, fuck a movie. Like, I'm a homebody. I'd love to go home and just like chat and get to know you. Be down.
Yeah.
You're leading it.
Yeah.
If he says no, then all right, fair enough. No. But
Well, that gives me a more confidence, like where I take the owner and I take it, you know, and I can come back with like the deciphering thing, like, which helps me say, hey, are you just looking for the hookup, or are you looking for like a date? Because I'm all about the dates, but I'm not about the hookup. I'm like so over that. Like,
But if you're the one leading it, because you know on Thursday you're hanging out, it's no longer a hookup, even if you choose to have sex with him. You're in charge.
yeah. Sorry, this is strange.
There you go.
So that helps a lot.
Okay.
Like I'm like
This
one of the
weekend,
time I'm
this weekend, Teresa, you're going to find 3 events, join 3 different groups, and you're going to schedule a time to go out and do something with that group. You're going to introduce yourself as Teresa, 50% homebody, 50% outdoorsy woman looking to make friends. You're going to do sexual escalation, touching, compliments. Things are going well. Hey, you seem pretty cool. Like, are you down to hang on Thursday? If so, like, what are some of your hobbies? Are you competitive? Either way, you can either let him lead and choose what the date is, or you can choose what the date is. Maybe you want to go fishing. Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you want him to pick the date.
Yeah.
But you have a next date. There's no pressure for sex tonight at all for either of you, because you know you're hanging out again.
yeah, and I feel like there's so many men that I talk to anymore that just want the quick hookup. They act like they're interested, but they want the quick hookup, and then that's it. And
Sure.
I cannot stand that idea. Like,
You know what I do,
I am
Teresa?
not
Here,
there.
I
Been
actually,
there in the past.
I don't like hookups either. I'll still engage in them, but I don't like them. And the reason is, sex without any emotional connection is really dull. Like, it's not fun. And it's really hard to finish too. Like, even for me as a male. So I would bring that up. Just be like, you know what irritates me is how many men just like, they want hookups, but like, it's not even good sex. Like, I've met so many men that like can get women, right? I've met men that can get women, and they all say they prefer something with depth, because like mentally they have to be there too to have sex. And like, I just wish more men knew that. And if he's not a complete fucking idiot, he's not going to make the mistake of just trying to push for a hookup. If he is a complete idiot, you'll know, let him go. But you framed it.
Right. Yeah, because I met this fine ass firefighter. He was adorable, but like I did not get any idea that he wanted more than just the quick hookup. And I labeled him as a firefighter, and I was like, oh, this is one cocky little guy, you know.
If
Which
any
shouldn't
guy
have done,
just
but-
wants a quick hookup, it's because he finds you sexually attractive, but there's not something engaging past what he sees when he looks at you.
Okay.
So that's why, like, dude, if you're fishing, or if you're gardening, or if you're at a dirt bike rally, whatever the fuck you want to do, you're engaged in something. he's engaged in. So even if he finds you sexually attractive, he's not going to try to take you to the porta potty to have sex with you. So socially, there has to be something there that captures you both. Does that make sense?
That makes,
Yeah.
so it makes more sense. So
If you're
Uh,
constantly a
if I'm-
home buddy, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. If you're constantly a home buddy and
No.
you invite them home off the bat, yeah, they definitely think it's a hookup. You brought them to their house. Like, what else are they there for? I would think that.
yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, fair, but also don't. All right, Teresa, it
Yeah.
is 8. I think that's it. If you have any other questions, please ask. But otherwise, I think this is a really good stopping point.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring up that body length next meeting.
Pay attention to feet, guys. I'm telling you, it's weird. Cal, pay attention to your own.
Yeah, I got it.
All
Thank
right,
you guys.
cool.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.